over the MLS Touch app and then answer any questions. It's both available on the Android, so Google phone, or iOS, which is the Apple, so iPhone. All right, looks like the majority of everybody is in, so we'll go ahead and start our Lunch and Learn for the MLS Touch app. If anybody's familiar with this, it's been out for quite a while now for it. To go over a little bit more on the screen here so you guys can actually figure out where to download it, the best place is to go to crmls.org. I'll pull that up on the screen here for you guys. So once you go to crmls.org, you can click right on our MLS Touch here. This kind of gives you an overview of everything that you'll see on it when you click on the individual downloads for it. So at the bottom here, you can see it's available through the App Store for iOS, so that's Apple, or the Google Play Store for Android / Google. And they have a nice little video overview for it. I think it's only about a minute or two, but we're going to go more in depth on how to use it. So when you click on the link, you'll see that you get the breakdown for the Apple Store. So you guys can actually do this right on your computer or on your phone. If it's Google, it'll be the Google Play Store here for it. So I'm going to share my computer screen here. I get a share of a share. So let's pull up. So hopefully everybody can see this. So this is exactly what my phone looks like right now. So in the middle here, you'll see we have the MLS Touch app. So these are kind of some of the other agent apps that I'll go over that a lot of you guys should probably download if you have an iPhone. There are Google Play versions of it available as well. So we have the Super Key. You have to have this downloaded and installed before you call up membership at whatever association you belong to. They'll give you the authorization key for it as well. There is the ZipForms mobile that you guys can use as well. Or you can just use the web version by going to car.org on your mobile phone. You have the Real Property resource. This is like a property profile app that you guys can download. So these are all MLS agent related. Showing Time also has its own app where you can confirm appointments or request them right through it. MLS Touch we're going to go over here in a second. The CRMLS app is the Home Spotter version app. That's a little very similar to the MLS Touch. And we may do a class on that one as well. DocuSign, you guys ever use that? You can do that right in the app. CRMLS Connect is a new version for more of a CRM style that you can create your own website, put your clients through to connect to them. And then I really like the Stewart Now. Robert's done a couple classes on that over the years. It allows you to look at property profiles, with a click of a button or by clicking on the parcel. You can also do a walking farm with that. So if we have more time, I'll go into some of these that are here. But first, we're just going to open up the MLS Touch so you guys can see it. This is your main screen when you first log in. So we're going to start at the very top. This is your map search. So this is pretty much what everybody sees when they first click on a property on any kind of website. If you click on the location thing down here at the bottom, this actually centers you right to where you're at. So you guys can see right around our office, all the properties that are for sale. So we're going to click on the filter on the top right, and you can see all the different sections for it. So we want to do everything that's just active. We don't want to do any pendings for it. And then we want to do price. So we'll change that to, 0 to let's say 1 million, just to see what shows up in the area, and then click search. So you can see we have quite a few active properties. So this one down the street from us is listed for $9.95. You see on the bottom of the screen. If you click on that actual image, it brings up the full profile for it. So you can see there's all the MLS listings for it. And some of the important stuff you can see on here is it already gives you how many days it's on the market, so that you can get on the fly. It also has the MLS number, both on the Google and Android app. If you hold down on that, you can actually see the copy. So I love using this feature whenever I have to look up the MLS number. If you're using zip forms on your mobile phone, you can copy this and bring it right into the MLS Connect. So it pulls in all of that property information for you. There are some nice features with that. At the top bar here, it's a little bit scrolling. So there's only showing 3, but there's multiple options. So you can send this listing by email. So it'll use your default email client. So it'll be the mail, whether it's on Android or iPhone. You can send it by text. You can add it by cart. You can do the comparables. You can send it just in a message through the app. You can request a showing request. So this is using that showing time, or you can print it right here from your phone if you're on a wireless network that has a printer attached. So going over that, I'm going to show you first on how to send a text. So it pulls in all of the contacts from your phone for it. Most of the time, you're going to have to add it or click skip. As soon as you populate it up, you'll see it creates this generic information. Check out this property. Click here for this link, so I can send it to really anybody. So I'll send it to Durf. Send them a text message for it. When that text goes through, you just click on that link. It populates a personalized branded page that's from the MLS for you. So it lists the property information for it, all the pictures that they can click through to view. They can share it on social. They can view a virtual tour if it has it. All the information at the bottom. And what's great about this website is at the bottom, it has all of your branded information on it. So this creates a property profile page just for you with your information, just like you would send an email out from CRMLS to a prospective client or the listing agent. So all that information that's pulled right from the MLS is there. They can click on it to contact you, and it's all available on the app. So the other cool features as you go down, this is the same remarks that the public sees. This is your property description field for it. You have private notes that you can actually add in yourself. So I could say that viewing scheduled on Tuesday, and that'll add a private note just for me to view anytime that I want. You can see it's listed there with that red mark that has the number 1 on it. The other feature is having the realist data right here in the app for you to pull up. So you can find out who that owner is when you're writing that purchase offer. You find out what the parcel number is, find out what their current taxes are, and the year built. So it's kind of like a brief summary of that realist for you. You also have the features. So anything that's listed on only those optional fields, whether they have fireplaces, what level all the property bedrooms are on, eating areas, school district, and view. And then more importantly for us on the go is showing instructions. They're a little bit longer now since everybody's adding in the COVID guidelines, so the PAD form or sending pre-approval. But everything that you put in that showing remarks will show up right in the app as well. So I can pull up right now and see that the next appointments for this are going to be on Saturday from 1 to 3. Starting by request, please text the number, send offers to this email address, send the PAD form, and also brings down if there's any lockbox on the property, whether it's a Supra or a combination, showing contact and the agent. And then when you get down to the agent remarks, it also has more room for that as well. So this is anything else they want to put in there. And this actually shows you how to do the Glide app. So I just copied and pasted that in as well. Another neat feature is down below this, you have the listing agent. So the number that's listed here for the showing contact is the 418-4220. Go down on the bottom here, you can see that you have the option to just click right here and it'll automatically call that agent right from the app. So you don't have to type in the number, anything, as long as they match for it. So always confirm that. Same thing with texting. So it's the 4220. So I click on the send text. You can see the number here at the top. Automatically it generates a preview text here. I'd like to show this property, and just hit send. So it makes it real easy to communicate to those agents. You never have to look up their phone number again. If you wanted to send them an email, same thing. It automatically generates that email for you, depending on what email settings you have set up. It'll automatically create your signature and all that in your phone app. So we're going to delete that. Going down, also on the bottom here is you have the history. So you can see the actual date that it was listed, just like you do on the public portal. You know, any kind of price changes that have happened, if it's been on hold, all that will be listed there. And at the bottom, you have the brokerage information and the listing number. And the last time it was kind of modified. So in our review settings for status on the MLS, that's where we have the last time that the agent changed anything in that listing. So that's there as well. At the top here also, you may not see is this little virtual icon. So you can actually click right on here and it'll take you right to that virtual tour. So this one is actually horizontal. So hopefully you guys can see it. So this is just a slideshow version. So we'll go back to our MLS Touch. And you can really see how everything kind of works on the app. It's very user-friendly for it. If you ever need to recenter, so let's say we zoom all the way out and we ended up over in Inglewood, but we're here in Torrance. Again, here at this bottom, you can actually click on the center icon. This is your navigation. It'll bring you right back to where you're at based on GPS. That's what we want to select, and it'll only show the properties for that. So once you kind of refine down what you want in this area, let's say right around the office, at the very top here, you have some more options on it. So you have the map that we're currently displaying. If you click on list, you now get this kind of like a thumbnail version where you can go through and actually see everything on the properties a little bit better. I really like this view, and I use this a lot more when I have just the MLS numbers. And you also can click on the stats. It'll kind of like break down all of those. If you wanted to pick an MLS area, you can actually get the property breakdown on how fast stuff is sold, you know, what the property makeup is. So this is nice to give on hand to those potential buyers if you're out in the field with them. You can change it to longer time frame. You can choose it to just 5 days. Kind of see how everything goes. But I think everything usually in 30 days or less is not as accurate for it. Same thing with expired. You can find out how many expired properties there's been based on those filters. Also on the filter at the top right, you can actually customize this down to everything. I used to use this feature a lot when it would be just to show the open houses. Obviously during COVID, there's no open houses listed in the MLS, so it's difficult. But this way, when you're out showing that property and you want so the client sees the for sale sign for the one across the street for it, and it's on a Saturday or Sunday, I would just turn on that show open houses only, because that way you'll see if there is an open house scheduled, and that way you can just walk right over across the street or in the area to find out what else is available for that client, hoping that it meets their price guidelines for it. You can also customize, you know, lot area, square footage. Oh, the problem with doing a live class on my phone. Let's see. And then bedrooms and baths, price. You can also search just by address at the top as well. All right, so getting back to our main home screen, you have a little bit more options that you can do as well. So we'll do the advanced search. This actually gives you even more criteria. So everything that you can think of that's in the MLS is available here on these features. So if you wanted to find just a senior community, let's say, we'll change that to senior and click search. Oh, I'll do more than just that. And we want it in Torrance. And we'll click search. So you see all of the senior areas that are coming up. So this one's listing condos for rent. We want stuff that's for sale. So let's say our price range is 400 to $1 million. Let's see if there's even any out there. Click search. Yep, we got 26 out there. So we're looking for any seniors. We got one over on Nadine Circle. That's not too far away from the office. And I believe this one might be listed by, oh, that's by a Remax agent. We have another one on Nadine Circle. Now, one of these is going to be our TRG, because I just saw it come up on the market here. So you can see that all of them are available for any of us to view. None of them have virtual tours, which is weird. But you can see they're almost all in Nadine Circle. So we got a pending one, sprint pending. So we're going to change that filter out. So we only want to show the ones that are available. Where's our property type, price, the area, since? We're going to do only in the last month here. And click search. There you go. So round to the 26th. We do the map on the left, so you guys can see. It shows you all the pin drops for it. So that's all there. So then you do a list, brings you back to that one line for each property. And then same thing with the stats. It'll bring down the ones that are active. So there's currently 8 of them. Average price is $547. The ones that are sold and pending are $585. So you can see that the market is good for that. Back on the home screen now for that MLS Touch again. The other feature I like to use is the little pound sign here. So this is a search numbers for just the MLS. So back when we were talking about just adding in a MLS number, it's an easy way for you guys to see them. So I have a couple in here. So as clients text me or I find properties online, I can actually just type in that MLS number for it and then click search. And you can see it pulls up all of them here as well. And it can be ones that are actually sold in the past. This one up on the top here. Or it could be ones that are just listed and ones that are just pending. You see, as properties get listed and clients text me about it, they all go pending very fast. You can also filter these out just like you can on anything else. So just ones that are sold, certain price ranges to kind of narrow that down on that view. You can also do a map view. It'll show you where all those MLS members are as well. For my listings, same thing. You can pull up yours and view them all right here. So we have our one that's under contract in Torrance. So if I wanted to send this to a client or anybody, same thing. I would click send text, choose who I'm going to send it to, check out this property, click here to view it, and send it over to them. So I go back to my text here. I can click right on that property. And it pulls up this generic prospects us.com. And it's got our property here that's listed. So it's no longer active, so that means it's pending. You can scroll down through and see all the stats that are on this property. What's nice is it's all branded with my MLS information that's there as well. And that's all done through your generic messages. So any kind of SMS program that you use on your phone could be done through iMessages if you use a iPhone. Going back to our MLS Touch, so you guys can see it again. You can scroll over to my other listing that's in Long Beach for just a warehouse. Shows you all the photos on it as they load here. Prices, public remarks, real list information right from the MLS. The private remarks for it, who the listing agent is, if they want to contact them. It also lists both if you have a co-listing agent for it. And it's great as it always has the history as well. So you can see on mine here, we had an escrow earlier this year. So it lists all that as well. So this is something on the go that you don't have to click on that days on market like you would have to do in the MLS screen. You can do it right here on the app. You can also forward any of this information right here on the top. Oops. By clicking on the arrow here. And depending on your setup, you can actually mark up the information, save it as a PDF. It's all available there, or any kind of apps that you use. Also, anything that's recently used on it. So if you want to send it to AirDrop, I'm not sure how the Google Android one works, but that's also a feature as well. So that's it for those. For any kind of favorites that you save, I don't really use the favorites a lot, but if you're going back and forth between properties, it's another way to kind of segment those out. And then any kind of save searches for it. So what's nice about the save searches is you have your MLS save searches that aren't really used a lot, but anything that you have in Matrix that you save are all there as well. So this is cross-platform here from the web version right to your phone. So see, the last one I looked up was I was looking up in 90505 for any kind of expired listings that were from 2016. Oh, so those aren't showing up anymore. What's the more recent one here? How about TRG single family listings? This is a saved search that I have in Matrix, and now I can pull up and look at all the ones that are now active for our office that are right here on my phone. So I don't have to go to the TRG website. I don't have to log into Matrix to view it. I can just click on here to see what single family homes are for sale in our office. So it looks like we have a new one that just happened in Hesperia. We got a condo in Gardena. A couple of price drops on some active ones in Gardena and Hawthorne. We got North Hollywood, one, let's say duplex, and Lawndale. So you guys can see how easily you guys can use the mobile app to actually pull them all down. And then on the other options that you guys hear is on the bottom here, you have the more. So on the more here, after you've actually set up your account, you'll see that you also have a, where's our address book? Might be on the home. I might be confusing the different apps here. Oh no, it's on member, sorry, they just called it a different name. So let's see who's on our Zoom. So Carol's on here. Let's look up Carol and see if she's on here. Guess there's a lot of Carols. There you go. Start at the top. It's got her information. You can see if they have any active listings. So Carol's got a listing. Yay, Carol. So we click on the My Active Listings. You can see she's got her one in PV that's active on a contract. So I can go right to her listing to pull it up. Or if I wanted to email her, check out her website, all of that's available right here on that app. So you can see that I no longer have to go into the MLS to find any contact information. I don't have to call Laura at the office to find out who the listing agent is for it, because I have all of the TRG listings right here in my phone, and I can just click on them to call that agent directly for it. Let's see, who else on here? Does Amanda have one? Let's see. There you go. She hasn't set up an app, so that's how I can tell the differences. Carol's used the app before because she has her picture up on the top, and she's she's logged into it before. Amanda has it. So Amanda, you update your picture on there, but it's got your phone number, your email address, and I can click on the active listings. You can see she has one down in San Diego that's pending currently. So that's kind of like the brief overview of MLS Touch. Really right now, I'd like to just open up to questions if anybody has any, or if they've ever used it before. And I can jump into some of the other CRMLS apps as well. Anybody? Carol, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm just going to ask because I'm looking at my phone and I've got MLS Touch. I have an app which I never use. I have CRMLS and I have something else. So is this the only one? This is CRMLS. Are they the only ones we should be? I think.
Correct. Yeah, there used to be the Home Seekers app.
Yeah, I think I have Home Seekers on here. I can get rid of that one.
Yeah, so that one got replaced by MLS Touch.
Okay, got it.
So they're working still on the option to have the Add Edit feature for new year listings in MLS Touch, but it is currently available in the CRMLS app that you guys can see here. That's the one with the little home and the magnifying glass. So that one has that feature currently. Does anybody else here use MLS Touch?
Somehow I'm still into, I want to be at my laptop. I'm sorry. I go to CRMLS. I don't look at the CRMLS. I go into the Matrix because I'm not good at playing consumer. I just like
So there is the nice option. I can log out of this so you can see, but there's a way to share this right here on branding share. So this is like the generic. So you can choose your logos. I obviously put in the TRG logo on it. I picked the color scheme to be kind of bluish to match ours. And at the bottom here, you got a green button that says share the app. So really it gives them a client one. So this little kind of unique number connects them to you. That way when they log in, you guys can send messages through the app. Obviously, every app wants you to use their messaging exclusively. I always recommend just using email and text because that way it doesn't matter when they communicate you, you're going to get that automatic response for it. But I will copy this one so you guys can see what it looks like. So it's going to download a different version of that MLS Connect, and it's going to be the client version for it. So they're obviously not going to have all the agent remarks and then like that. But by looking at the pictures here, you can see their layout is very similar. They can actually search by MLS number if they want. They can actually click on the agent information to view that right there if they want to contact you. And they have that same kind of view that we have for individual properties, and they can do the map search and everything. Obviously, this is just for actives and pending, I believe. They have that 3-up like view. And they also, what's nice on this is they have the favorites, possibilities, and discarded. So just like the MLS does on that, this is just a little bit easier for them to use. Depending on the age group of your client, they may prefer using the app over the MLS client portal, which isn't as user-friendly as an app would be to go through. You also have the messaging that's built right into the app, but like I said, I always prefer that you guys use the email or text option that's available in that app. So when they sign in, they'll actually click on it. So here's the contact information page that you'll send them. So it has your information on it. They click here to install your app, and they can also download it here. And this is the code that they'll put in that's going to link that client to your mobile app for it. So essentially, it's having their own real estate app that's semi-branded with your information for it. Has anybody shared their app with a client, or is this all new to most of you guys? All right, so we're going to go back into the app so you can see some more features. Yep.
Danny, my app is actually on my signature, but I don't think anyone has ever clicked into it. It's all
for the MLS Touch or for another one that you use. So other options on the settings here that you can actually publish stuff right to Facebook is the one that currently does it for it. So you link which pages that you want to send it to. So anytime that I have a new listing, it automatically generates that link, that prospect page that we saw before for it. Anytime I lower a price, I have that turned off for it. Anytime I sell one. So what's nice about this is every time I have a new listing, every time I sell it, the automated app does all this for me, and I don't have to go post it online for it. And this is all based on something that's in the MLS that's put up. Obviously, you can link any of your Facebook pages that you have or business pages that you do, but also personalize and brand it with your options that you picked on that previous screen. So on the bottom here, or actually the top where it says brand and share, this is where you can customize everything. So you choose the colors, your picture. So it looks like Carol did that on hers already. So she had her logo on, or her image on her info. And that's really kind of it for any of the integrations that you want. This is where those cart syncs, client portal contact sync. So not only is it clients in my phone, it's also clients that are listed in Sierra MLS website for it as well. So any other questions, guys? Maybe just like curiosity for it. I mean, there's about 20 or so on this. How many people here have iPhones versus Android or Microsoft, I guess? Yeah, normally I found out that it's usually about 50-50 as everything goes through. Usually the easier of use is having an iPhone, but the Android does the same app. They all function the same way for it. And just depending on your settings on whether you open up into Google Chrome or Safari, or if you use the SMS version for Android, or you use iMessage on Apple. So any other questions? Anybody else want to, we can dive into some of the other apps since we got some time here. So mainly on this screen, I think everybody's kind of familiar with the Super E key. If not, I'll show you guys kind of how it works. So that's a little overview for it. It gives you your serial number. So if you ever have any tech support, that's the number that you'll have to give them. If you click on your lock boxes, this will give you a full inventory of any kind of lock boxes. Any messages that have come through the system are right there at the top. But really, when you open up to a property, you just click on that obtain key. You'll put in your code. You have to push the bottom of the Super Lockbox to turn it on, and then magically the key will pop out for it. Same thing here at the bottom. You have the open shackle, and then you'll type in your code. You'll select the reason why you're going to be removing that property. It's either relocating it, removing it, it's sold. And you can also choose that option to add that key box to your inventory. That way, the next time you go and use it, you just select that box. On the update here, if you click that update, I always recommend doing this while you have cell service or possibly on Wi-Fi. What's great about that is once it's updated, it's usually good for 24 hours. So if you're going up to PV or anywhere where cell reception might be limited based on your phone service or carrier, you'll be able to still open that by just Bluetooth. It doesn't require any cell service for it. And on the more here, you have your options to pull up your profile, your payments, and all that through Supra. So back on to the other ones. I'm very much familiar with the real property resource. This is kind of do a property profile. Obviously, if you set up the facial recognition, it logs in everything for me, so I never have to remember any passwords for it. So you can look at all the recently sold reports I've done. They're all here. You can choose right from the app. Want to do like a market report for whatever area. So we'll do it for Torrance. And we'll do it right near the office. Click search. We're gonna do a market report. We're gonna download it. And if we go to our existing reports here, you can kind of see the ones that we've done, or the recent ones. So the last one on Feldbar. So this is the one that I actually did for our current listing. So I can just click on the view. Yeah, I usually take it about 3 or 4 seconds because downloading that PDF. But this is one that I actually created on the actual desktop computer, but I can actually view it right here on my mobile. So I really don't have to keep a copy of that. We email a copy to the client, but it creates this kind of a property profile that's more of like a CMA than your default title report where they're just pulling up generic comps. This actually pulls stuff right from the MLS, not just title solds for it. So depending on what you're doing it for, whether it's the listing one, I don't know what this one was that we picked. It's just the generic seller's report for it. Some will be about 30, 40 pages. Some could be up to 60 pages if you have the full report for it. We like that, using those reports mainly because they give you a value as well on it. So that one's still loading for the one we just did. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes per report that you generate. Here's our last report that I did, so I can just look at the stats based on our area. There's lots of features on RPR, but I recommend first navigating the website. That way you're familiar with what you can do on the app as well. Moving down, we can do showing time, so you guys can see. Oh, it didn't save my information. I probably logged out of it because of all the requests that we were getting on our other one.
How about Stewart Title?
Yep, so that's a good app. So this one, let's see what will log me in also.
Do you have to
one
get
of them are
something from
Yeah, so Robert has to set you up with a username. And this one I also don't have the password for. Let's see if I can find it.
and the app is under Stewart Title?
There we go. You guys can
Yeah.
see it right here. Yeah, there we go.
The app download is on Stewart
Yeah,
Title?
it's called Stewart Now. Is
Stewart
the
Now.
app for it. So what I really like about this, and this is a feature that most title companies will have, is you have your generic at the bottom here, the little house here, with just profiles. This is the last property that we did. I think I might have one for our Felbar one. Let's see if it came up here. No, so these are the ones I was looking at for our previous. So to look up the one that I'm currently asking for my brother to buy, you get that full information that you would get from the realist. So you have the actual estimated value, you have the seller's name or owner's name, you have the APN, and the breakdown of what Veterans of Bath square footage, last time it sold for it. They have a property evaluation based on the price. And you can also look at comparables right here, or the transaction history to see anything that's actually done. So it'll show you all the refinances, everything that you kind of see on that realist property as well. And you also have the neighborhood map to show where that property is at. And that's really hard for you guys to see them. It's not as white on my screen, but I guess when it's shared, it is. So those are just recently used ones. You also have this farming option. So I believe this one requires you to pay for the subscription for it. I think it's like $10 for the whole year, but any ones you have saved. So I'm to kind of show you how it works. I already have a couple of demos set up here in the North Torrance area. Let's see. They'll let me pick it. So once you drag and drop the area that you want to actually work, it gives you that same area based on stats. So like if you wanted to talk, to knock on doors, same thing. As I picked 75 properties in North Torrance, it gives me how long the hot list is for it, how long they're selling, what the individual properties here at the top middle one, list them all with their last time sold for it. So this is kind of like that same Excel sheet that you get from any title rep. This just kind of makes it an app version. What's great about this is you're door knocking, for example, when we can actually do that, you can actually add in notes to these individually as you talk to these people. So if you do have a farm, it'll make it easier for you to go around and actually know people's names. Right. So last time it was sold, I can go back here. I might have to, I'm starting to do the farm info for it. Let me pull it back up again. Sorry, usually it saves my, of course, that doesn't want to work. There we go. So once you go back to that farming area again, so you guys can see it. We'll click on the last one I did. Open it up, and at the top here, you guys can see just above that save filters, you have a little footstep. This is what's really neat is it'll actually base it on you walking that farm. So obviously, since I'm not there, it doesn't have my GPS blue dot. But as I walk the farm that I want to go, I can actually click on each property and pull it up as I go to each property, door by door by door, all the way down. And kind of like, well, it's a nice, easy way to do the farming rather than having a clipboard and an Excel sheet. And you can actually add notes to it as well. So I'll get Robert to do a more up-to-date on the farm once we can actually door knock safely, I guess. That's a pretty cool feature that StuartNow.com or app allows you to do.
Can you do any title searching?
Yes, all of them, yeah, same thing. So same thing you do on the profile, and I can pull up any property we want. So we can just do properties nearby me. It'll pull up what's around here. We can pick a residential one. Let's see. Over on, let's go over by the park here. This one's over on Ladine. I just click on the actual parcel. This one with the trust. This one's 23627 Ladine Avenue. Gives you the breakdown, the ownership, last time it was sold, all that's available there for you to go through, just like you would do on a realtor search.
Right. So I was thinking though, it's usually on a title, they might have a little more, detailed information sometimes.
It depends on the property. So like this one, if there's any last sales at all on it. Yeah. So you have your assessed value, APN overview on it, any kind of transaction history. So it shows you, obviously they refinanced a couple times, changed the loan amount around for it. And last time it sold was 2005. And then before that it was 2000.
So any preliminary title information, then you'd have to talk with the, what's his name?
Robert did it to actually generate the profile. Yeah, it doesn't generate the profile in the app. It just gives you that title information.
Okay, thanks.
But it's nice, to do right there on the spot without having to log in. It also keeps all of your saved profiles as well. And you can also pull up, more information on the farming. And I got Robert's information there if you wanted to contact him. And his is actually robertnoh1@gmail.com. If you want to set up a profile, I'd get him to set you up with that, because you can use it on stuartnow.com or in this app. To kind of give you guys another kind of overview that I like is on the regular kind of like public portals. So just keep this in mind. Prezi is not one, so that one I can actually delete now. But on here you have Trulia, Redfin, Homes.com, HomeSnap, which is a agent use and public portal, HotPads for leasing. Everybody knows Zillow, Realtor.com, and LoopNet. I recommend downloading these because these are what the clients are using out there, and that way you kind of see the different versions. They may be sending you links through these depending on what mobile device they look for. Just in my opinion, like I get most of the time stuff from Realtor.com or Zillow when clients send me stuff that they found online. So those two seem to be the top, at least syndicated, or maybe when they're looking for properties online, they like that web version or app version better. Redfin has always been like the leader in speed. I've always liked how fast their app loads, but I think everybody's kind of caught up to them since they were the first out there with a really responsive, fast mobile app. And then Trulia and Zillow are essentially the same, but they have two different platforms. So any other questions out there?
No, this is great. Thank you.
Yep, I recommend that everybody download these. So this is what the clients are using. And then under our my agent apps here, these are all the ones that I would recommend that you also download and test them out, mess around with them. Obviously, practice makes perfect. So the more you use it, the better chance you have to not be very slow at accessing stuff on your mobile phone, which should be faster than accessing your web-based page. And then maybe we'll do one on ZipForms mobile here in the past, seeing as a lot of people are at home or using tablets, and that way they don't have any way to actually send those things out without using a computer. But that's the best way to do it. So any questions, I'm here in the office most of the time. You can text, email, and I'll go over any apps that you guys want to do in the past. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.